Hey, today I want to introduce a very good agent. It is called Droid. So the thing I really like is this one can perform fairly well in this benchmark. So say the accuracy is really like above warp. So if you haven't used warp before, it is awesome. But Droid actually achieved higher results. So I guess they achieve this based on Opus model. So maybe right now, so after 4.5, this one can get a little bit higher. But today I'm going to show you another way, which is I use GLM 4.5, 4.6. So I can ask this application. What I'm doing is I basically concatenate four different MP4 files, and it eventually optimizes the size. So everybody actually have to basically search for the command, and basically it knows the CRF params for high quality. And as I requested, I use 15 FPS, which means frame per second. Some high definition videos, it goes up to double this value, like 30, and it uses AAC, which I believe is Apple standard at not 256, but half of it. So it gives you a really fair balance of the size. See, it got like 90% size reduction. And before that, it goes on to create a new file called merge, rather than just overriding one of the file. So let's check what things that have been done. So it does like folder listing, they concatenate and the file list. And beyond that point, we couldn't see the full detail. And it tells you the risk level, the low. I feel like maybe the Droid doesn't have good communication with the model, but as it said, the new model really shines in its agentic workflow and website copy. So if you want to search GLM 4.6 agentic, so you can have a read. It's exhibit strong performances. So which means if we plug into the tiny exercise, meaning we limit the scope for just using the FF, like FFmpeg, it would probably search for the best. So here's my prompt. I have three MP4 files. Can you merge them in another file and reduce the quality a bit? It is for web, and F15 probably enough. Find the best way to do it. You can search online a bit. Actually, this one does use the MCP server, which would probably be my next stage. Maybe I could search MCP app. No. So what I'm like to do is probably play the video a bit, then we can have a feeling of what's the size. Look at this, guys. It's really short.
模式呢，明年可能会进一步扩展啊，但也不一定，涉及到明年那个旗舰策略的一个
So
时间都是在震
everything
荡
is
回撤的。
really good. It works. Reduce 90% file size. What I'm doing is I try to basically come up with some amazing demo. So there's another way I can do that. So because I set up my Claude, I believe Claude would be similar, like process, yes. So if you look at these, they map the 4.5 GLM model to Opus. So I'm just using cheap model to basically You see, this is the model name. Yeah, let's look at what it does. So from this like Z community, Z is the vendor for GLM. They have a documentation teach you like what needs to be plugged in. They can do the visual search, I guess. Like it's a little bit like VLM, and you can trigger this just by saying web search, I believe. So it does like a lot of things behind the hood. And here you go. You can also deliver the same thing, right? But Claude, I think it's just for coding in my opinion. So now I have a very nice and polished like ways. I use a very cheap agentic model, and in the front end, I can use this tool, which only works in probably certain kinds of scenario, but they're really polished. They're very strong in terminal based, which sometimes, for me, I previously use WAPs, but sometimes you see I'm out of the credit. So yeah, so even though they use very um like state of art model, it does show some like not for everybody. I believe the cost is really like low, like short, and the intelligence really high. And look at this. It seems like Gemini is really intelligent, but the cost is also like 4 times, I would say. The Opus probably is the king, and it just like phenomenal. I think people report that this one can really deliver nice feature. So for my next video, right? So I'd like to demo a bit of like how I use Claude on Claude Code especially to just fully deliver some website, right?